All right, what's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. Got another Northwest podcast for you. I apologize for the background noise. That's my fan. It's hot. It's the summertime. Anyway, let's keep this moving. Today I want to talk about the consequences of promiscuity. This is something I do talk about a lot on my channel. Again, this is my backup channel here. Not a lot of people have found this channel yet. I need to figure out some way to get this channel out there. But anyway, with that said, let's talk about the consequences of loose promiscuity. This is something that I hear a lot. I hear a lot of ignorance out there. A lot of young people are very, very ignorant. They think sex is okay. They think there's no consequences to sex. I'm not coming at this from necessarily from an ethical or moral standpoint, although I believe ethics and morals are important for a reason. I believe ethics and morals help hold up society. I think they help make a quality society. They help make a good society. So what happened in the 1960s was the second wave feminism came in and women started saying, oh, you can't tell me what to do with my body. I can go be a slut if I want to be a slut. Well, I have no problem with the rights as far as that goes, but what they did successfully fight against and push back was the stigma behind loose promiscuity, loose sexuality. So women used to be frowned upon and called a slut, and slut used to be a bad word. They've taken that word and they've made it into a badge of honor, you know, with this slut walk crap they got going on today. You know, the whole porn culture that we live in, sexuality, loose sexuality is, you know, very, it's just okay. You know, people don't care. And there's outs, you know, that one big out is abortion. 500,000 abortions per year through Planned Parenthood in the United States alone, right? That's a statistical fact, right? And people don't think that's bad, killing babies, right? They throw out all kinds of excuses. Oh, it's just a fetus. It's just a clump of cells. It's not a real human. Doesn't have a soul. I've heard everything. You're killing a human being. You're not supposed to kill life, or you're not supposed to kill human life. That is terribly wrong. And if you don't have a conscience for that, if you don't feel bad for doing that, there's something seriously wrong with you. Something seriously wrong with a society that is okay with doing that. It's immoral, and it backs up promiscuity, right? It backs up the lifestyle of promiscuity. Oh, it's all good. There's no consequences because if I get pregnant, I'll just have an abortion. And it's okay because everybody says it's okay. So I guess it's okay. We're not even talking about the guilt. Many women don't even talk about that anymore. It's just something they don't talk about because honestly, I think many women are scared to talk about that. I think if they talked about guilt, you know, from that perspective of, you know, feeling guilty over an abortion, I think many women would be shouted down. I think they would be talked down to by these liberals, by this liberal cult that wants to indoctrinate everyone into their degeneracy. And they have a serious problem here because whenever I talk to them, first of all, they don't even know there's consequences. Oh, it's all about the woman's choice, her autonomy. She shouldn't be stigmatized for her choices. Well, what if her choices hurt people? What if her choices break hearts? What if her choices, you know, damage people? What if she's out there sleeping around giving people STDs? This is why I always talk about that Voltaire quote that said, you know, be mindful of who you're not allowed to criticize. Those are the ones who rule over you. We're not allowed to criticize women. But see, I don't even think it's women that rule over us. Now, to some extent, yes, you know, gynocentrism, women are ruling over men, but I think it's the powers that be behind the mechanism of modern feminism, which want to make our young women whores. You know, they want to remove that stigma so they can reap the benefits of sleeping with our women, you know, so they can reap the benefits of a society that's destabilized. A society that's destabilized, and what's the best way to do that? Through the family unit. You destabilize the family unit, you are destabilizing a society as a whole. The best way to cripple and to conquer and to subtly rule a society is to make them degenerate, is to weaken them through the family unit. And what's the best way to do that? Turn the women into whores. So therefore there will be no family. And that's what feminism is. Feminism is insidious. It is high-powered control marketing, right? Controls, brainwashes young people through evil, insidious lies about masculinity, about the patriarchy, quote unquote, right? I talk about this a lot. But one of the things I hear the most is that, oh, there's no consequences for loose sexuality. It's okay. She can do whatever she wants with her body. She can go have fun. Really? There's no consequences? Actually, there's mountains of consequences. There's mountains of evidence. For one, STDs are prevalent, right? 50% of sexually active people have two of the major ones. We're talking HPV, okay, and HSV, herpes simplex, and genital warts. These are the two most common. 50% of sexually active people have one or two of those. Okay, 50%. If you're sexually active, there's a 50% chance you have HPV or HSV too, right? Herpes, genital herpes, and genital warts. They're the most common. They're extremely prevalent. Millions and millions of people out there who are sexually active have these very common, very easy to get STDs, okay? First of all. Second of all, well, what's another consequence? Unwanted pregnancy. Unwanted pregnancy has skyrocketed since the 1970s. In 1973, Planned Parenthood opened its doors for business, and since then they have killed around, I think the last time I checked, the number was around 17 million. 17 million babies since 1973, with an average of 500,000 per year in the U.S. alone. Okay, and guess what? 78% of all those, statistics, 78% of them, of those abortions, were because the mother simply wasn't ready to have the child. It's not because she got raped. It's not because she got sick and she had to kill the baby. It's not because this or that. It's because she just simply wasn't ready to have the child. Okay, that's a statistical fact. You can Google it. Okay, what's another consequence of loose promiscuity? Domestic violence. Why? Because when you're not loyal to somebody and you cheat, etc., and you sleep around, you cause violence. That causes domestic violence. That causes anger, and not just from men. Women commit domestic violence just as much as men do. It's 50-50, man. But yet, if you go to a domestic violence class, it'll constantly be talking about it from the female perspective or from the male perspective. Oh, the males are the ones committing the violence. The males are the ones. Why is this? Well, a lot of it is because the women are using the system and abusing the system, first of all, to maybe get back at men, or to maybe just use the system to get certain men off their back, because men sometimes tend to be clingy, and women are the ones with the choice in the sexual market. So they want to hurry up and move on and find somebody else, but the guy wants to stay with him. So they use the court system. Well, this guy won't leave me alone, and he keeps texting me, and he keeps bothering me. I just want him to leave me alone. And they call that domestic violence, right? You don't even have to have a threat. Really, it's just if you won't leave her alone, it's domestic violence, right? Or harassment or whatever. But because you dated the woman, it's not just harassment. They call it domestic violence because you used to be in a relationship with her. They tack on that word violence in there, which is very insidious, very subtle, right? So instead of just being a harasser, you're a violent person, right? So this happens. What's another one? Again, I said cheating. Cheating is big, which causes divorce. There's 60+% divorce rate, or 50+% divorce rate, but some people say it's 60%. Some people say it's as much as 75% when you really look into it. Of course, second and third marriages is 75% divorce rate. So once you get divorced the first time, you have a really high chance of divorcing again on your second and third marriage. Really high chance. And that figure doubled since second wave feminism happened in the 1960s and 70s. In fact, it went from, I think it was 39% to 59-60% in about 10 years. And what happened in that 10 years in the 1960s and 70s? Second wave feminism. And what did second wave feminism do? It removed accountability. It removed the social stigma for females sleeping around. This is all documented statistics. This is all facts, right? Mountains and mountains of evidence. And not only to mention that, right, we have children who come from broken homes who are statistically much more likely to commit serious and violent crimes, right, with 90% incarceration rate of prisoners coming from broken homes. Okay, so prisoners in jails and prisons, 90% of them come from broken homes. This is all due to loose promiscuity. So these people, these liberals, these male feminist allies and female slut apologists, guys, They don't understand. Loose promiscuity is incredibly damaging and dangerous to society. It's not that we're trying to control women. It's not that, I want women to, force women to do something or to be subservient to men. No, it's just to be accountable. Your actions have consequences. Right? Now, should men be stigmatized as well? I think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Men should be stigmatized as well. But we have to keep in mind that women are the gatekeepers to sex, right? Women are the ones who say yes or no. Men chase the women. That's how it is. That is biology. Women do not chase men. Women do not approach men. Men have to chase the women. Men have to approach the woman. It's not the other way around. Therefore, more responsibility lies with the woman to say no. And I believe we're simply not teaching our young women this. It's not part of our value system anymore because we've lost traditional values. We've come away from the traditional values of marriage at a young age, finding love at a young age, doing away with the promiscuity and the hookup culture, doing away with the dating, right? Because all dating is just having sex. That's all dating is, right? They slap that word dating on there, but it just means you're hooking up. Right? And maybe you're hanging out and you like the person and you're kissing on them and you go to movies with them and you spend time with them. That's dating, but you're hooking up. That's what dating is you're having sex with the person. Well, that's dangerous. Sorry. All kinds of negative things can come from that. And it's not that I'm trying to soil anyone's fun. It's that this is the reality, right? Of course, those of us who are in the red pill community, and we know there's all kinds of manipulation, all kinds of stuff going on, which is, linked and rooted to that kind of culture where women manipulate, take advantage, where women have the upper hand. It's very beneficial for women, sort of, in the short term, right? But in the long term, what happens? There's single mothers everywhere, broken women, jaded women, liars, manipulators, girls that are spreading STDs, all these sluts who don't know anything else but to, have sex. They don't know how to treat men right. All kinds of stuff because we don't have that kind of culture anymore. We don't have the kind of culture that says, hey, you got to be a good quality woman. You need to treat a man right. You need to be moral and honest. We don't do that anymore. There's no accountability for women because of gynocentrism, because anybody who's trying to say, oh, you have to have accountability as a woman is somehow an oppressor, somehow a misogynist. And this is what feminism has done. This is what modern feminism has done, is it's removed accountability. It's removed reason. It's removed checks and balances. It's removed social stigma against these negative behaviors. Women have no bar anymore. They have no standards anymore. Nobody's telling them, hey, you need to be a quality person. You need to be moral. You need to treat people right. You need to treat a man right. You need to love one man. No, they're saying, oh, you can go be a slut, this is why we have so many Instagram thoughts. This is why girls are showing their ass on TikTok. This is why, so many girls are doing porn, because they have no values. Nobody is giving them these types of values. Nobody is teaching them any type of responsibility, any type of class, any type of moral ethics or anything like that. They don't care. In fact, they use sex. They use sex to get what they want. They use sex to, manipulate, right? And this is what we know in the red pill community. But anyway, so for anybody saying there's no evidence of loose promiscuity being bad, there's no consequences. Bullshit. Just tell them that. Tell them the STD rate, divorce rates. Very bad to raise a child from a broken home, right? Very bad for single mothers. Kids don't grow up right. They grow up depressed. They grow up messed up. They grow up violent, right? So much can come from that. STDs, broken hearts. We have a single mom epidemic, right? These are consequences. These are real life consequences of being promiscuous. These are real life things that we're dealing with now. Guys have to play cleanup. We have no choice. We have to be a single dad. We have to be a dad to a single mother. We have to be a dad to some kid that's not ours, which is not masculine. That is not normal. That is not okay. Like, you want to raise your own kid. Women in society and feminism is trying to normalize that shit. That's not normal at all. It's not normal to raise somebody else's kid. That's weird. That's bad. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. Appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee with Northwest Podcast. Peace.